Hi everyone, this is Ms. M. Preetiram, Assistant Professor in CSDS Department from Ramco Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam. So today we are going to see the topic about the Secure SDLC, that is the Secure System Development Lifecycle. Before going to the Secure SDLC, we have to know about what is SDLC. So the System Development Lifecycle is a project management model that we already know that defines us the stages involved in bringing a project from the inspection to the completion level. So the software development teams, for example, deploy a variety of systems development lifecycle models that include waterfall, spiral, and agile processes. So the SDLC is a multi-step iterative process, which we already know that it is also structured in a methodological way. So this process is used to model or provide a framework for technical and non-technical activities to deliver a quality system which meets or exceeds business expectations or something like which manages the decision making progressions. So traditionally, the system development life cycle, which consists of 5 stages, that is the investigation phase, analysis phase, design methodologies, development phase, integration, and implementation and maintenance. So this is the intro about the SDLC. So now going into the topic of Secure SDLC. So Secure SDLC is also known as SSDLC, which is a framework for enhancing the software security by integrating the security designs, tools, and processes across the entire development lifecycle. So it also ensures that the computer programs are built with security in mind right from beginning. So it involves us planning, designing, coding, testing, deploying, and maintaining the software, which is regularly or consistently addressing the security concerns at each step. Here we have given just an software, but for an overall quality, we have to enhance it. So we can also call this as a system development life. So the same phases used in the traditional SDLC can be adapted to support the implementation of information security projects. So the Secure SDLC unifies this process and makes it a coherent program rather than a series of random unconnected actions. So in implementing the information security involves us identifying, specifying the threats and creating specific controls to counter them. So here is the flow diagram for SDLC, that is the system development lifecycle. As we already know, and I have said that first one is an investigation phase, and second one is an analysis phase. Third is a overall design phase, and we can split it into two as a logical design phase and physical design phase. And then we have implementation phase, and then we have a maintenance phase. So as the name itself, it has the meanings. So in maintenance phase, in the final stage, we have to collect the feedback from the customers, and we have to maintain the process that we have done before, and the overall progress can be seen in the maintenance phase, and we have to collect the feedback and we have to improve it from the negative side to the positive side, which makes the software or the whole system into a next level of stage. So here is the phases of Secure SDLC. So as same as the SDLC, so we have the requirement phase, so analysis phase, basically the risk analysis. Then we have the design phase. Then we have the test plans, that is we have to code, which can be called as an implementation phase. Then we have the, as I have already said, that we have a maintenance phase. Here we will collect the feedback from the customers, that is given in the loss, that is the field feedback. In this name we have the secure, so we have to overcome from the risk, threat, and vulnerability that are caused by a hacker or from an unauthorized person. So from the unauthorized person, we have to secure our system, we have to secure our entire system, and also the software that we have developed for an organization or for our personal use, or we have to secure the information from an unauthorized person as a personal thing. So we are using the security SDLC, that is the secure SDLC. Here are the phases, we can able to see it. Then we have to use some tools for securing our software, which is a basic thing. for in a systematical thing, as we have to use the technologies. By using the technology, we have to secure our software, and we have to secure our information from an unauthorized person, so which is a main thing. That's why we have some tools, that is here we mentioned as a static analysis tool, which is not only used for coding, which can be also used for our security purpose also. So here we are going for a detailed explanation about the Secure SDLC. So first one, as I have already said, that the investigation phase. So in this yearly phase, the requirement for the new features are investigated and collected from the various stakeholders. So here are the two requirements, that is the sample functional requirements, in which the user needs the ability to verify their contact information before they are able to renew their memberships. So second one is an sample security consideration, in which the user should be able to see only their own contact information and no one else. So then it begins with an enterprise information security policy, which can also be said as an EISP. So the teams of the responsible managers, employees, and contractors are organized, problems are analyzed, and the scope of the project is defined along with the specific goals and objectives, and any additional constraints not covered in the program policies are also included in this. So directive from the upper management that dictates the process, outcomes, and goals of the project, budget, and other constraints. So the feasibility analysis is performed to determine whether the organization has the resources and commitment necessary to conduct a successful security analysis and design. So next one is the analysis phase. So in analysis phase, it is very important to clearly define the system requirements for the software and ensure that they are understood and included in a software design. So this may include the developing a threat model to identify the potential attacks and determining how the software will protect against them. So by using these models, we will know about the threats which we have to handle. So the threat is nothing but it refers to a source and means of a particular type of an attack. The threat assessment is performed to determine the best approaches to securing a system against a particular threat or a class of a threat. So whenever a threat is uh, intentionally or unintentionally, we have to lose some information, we have to analyze those things, that is the threat or attacks, and then we have to overcome it to protect our information or our software. Okay. So next, the development team conducts a preliminary analysis of an existing security policies or programs, so which is documented the current threats and associated controls. Also do analysis of relevant legal issues that would affect the design of an security solutions. So this phase is also called as a risk management, because here we have to analyze whether the threat, attack, or vulnerability that are caused from an unauthorized person. So we have to analyze those things to avoid those attacks. That is, to avoid then unnecessary attacks for our personal informations. So if an attack is happening, so there will be an information loss or information destruction that can occur in our information. So this is also called as a risk management and risk analysis phase. Okay. So the risk management focuses on identifying, assessing, and evaluating the levels of risk in an organization, especially the threats to its security and to the information it stores and processes, which I have already said. So next phase is a design phase. So this phase translates in scope requirements into a plan of what this should look like in an actual application. So here functional requirements typically describes what should happen, while security requirements usually focuses on what shouldn't. So as we have already seen in an investigation phase, so similar to that. So first one is a sample functional design. So page should retrieve the user's name, email, phone, and address from a customer information table in a database and display it on the screen. So then as an sample security concern, we must verify that the user has a valid session token before retrieving the information from the database. So if absent, the user should be redirected to the login page. So during the design and prototyping phase, it is important to design the software with security in mind. This may include using the secure design patterns, implementing the appropriate controls, and conducting a security review of a design. So the planning, as I have already said, if there is any problem, we will again go to the investigation phase. So our planning have to answer these following questions. That is the continuity planning. How will the business continue in an event of a loss? So second is an incident response. What steps are taken when an attack occurs? So third one is an disaster recovery phase. That is what must be done to recover the information and vital systems immediately after a disaster event. So next is an physical design. So it evaluates the information security technology needed to support the blueprints. The final physical design is usually chosen from the several competing alternatives, each of which would meet the logical design requirements. A feasibility study is done that determines the organization readiness for the proposed project. All parties involved have a chance to approve the project before the implementation that will going to begin. So then we will go to the implementation phase. So during the implementation phase, it is important to follow the secure development practices to ensure that the software is deployed securely. This may include conducting a security assessment of a deployment environment, so implementing the appropriate controls and following the best practices for securing the software in production. So the entire tested package is presented to upper management for a final approval. So not only for a software development, for example, we will also say as a civil construction. So in civil construction also we have the following phases. So here we are discussing about the software and the entire system process. For the real-time example that we can easily understand, we can go with a civil construction work where these phases are also used. These phases is the initial thing that we are going to use, right? Uh, the security solutions are required, so tested, implemented, and it also tested again. So implementation phase also have the coding process in which the coding is tested. If the entire coding runs in a suitable method, that is as we expected, then the implementation phase is the good thing, and we can go for the next step and we can proceed further. So in maintenance and change phase, so in the maintenance phase, it is important to continue to prioritize the security. This may include regularly patching the software to fix the vulnerabilities, monitoring the software for security issues, and conducting the regular security reviews to ensure that the software remains secure over time. So in SDLC phase, I have already said we will collect the feedback from the customers and we will check whether if there are any corrections or the improvement is required, and we will change towards the positive way. So information security system needs the constant monitoring, so testing, modification, updating, and repairing. So then the application system development within the framework of the traditional SDLC are not designed to anticipate a software attack that requires us some degree of application reconstruction. As new threat emerges and old threat evolve, an organization information security profile must constantly adapt to prevent threats from a successful penetrating sensitive data. So threat both from the outside and within must be constantly monitored and checked continuously, and new innovating technologies has to improve for securing our data in an organization, also in our personal life. So these are the difference between using an SDLC and the secure SDLC. So the first one is an steps common to the SDLC and security SDLC. and then the steps we are going to use uniquely in the security SDLC, that is the secure system development life cycle. So in phase 1, that is the investigation phase, so the common steps are, it will outline the project scope and goals, and second one is the estimate, it will estimate the cost, and it evaluating the existing resources and analyzes the feasibilities. So in NEST, which is unique to the Secure SDLC, it defines as the project process and goals and document them in a program security policy. So then we will go about the analysis, that is the second phase. So common to both SDLC and Security SDLC, we will assess the current system against the plan development in phase 1, and it will develop the preliminary system requirements and study integration of the new system with an existing system. So document findings and update the feasibility analysis, which will occur in the step 2 in analysis phase. So the step unique to Security SDLC is, so it will analyze the existing security policies and programs. It also analyzes the threat currents and controls, which examines the legal issues and perform some risk analysis to provide more security in Secure SDLC. So the third phase is the design phase, which we will separate it into two, that is the logical design and the physical design. In logical design, so the steps common to the SDLC and Secure SDLC is, it assesses the current business needs against the plan developed in the phase 2 as in the previous phase. So the selection of an application, so data support and structure is needed. So generating the multiple solution for the selection of the best one, and the document findings and updating of feasibility analysis. So the steps unique to the Secure SDLC is, so developing the security blueprint, so planning incident response actions, so plan business response to the disasters, and determining the feasibility of continuing and or outsourcing to the projects. So the next phase is the physical phase. So the steps common are, so it needs is the selection of technologies to support the solutions developed in the phase 3, that is in the previous phase, that is the logical design phase. So selection of the best solution is required. So it decides whether to make or buy a components for building a product. So then the document findings and updating the feasibility analysis is done in physical design, which are the steps common in SDLC and Secure SDLC. Then the steps unique to the Security SDLC are, so the selection of technologies needed to support security related blueprints, so which is more required than the SDLC. So developing the function and definition of the successful solution, and review and approve the projects are done in the Security SDLC. So next in the implementation phase, that is the phase 5. So steps common are, so it requires us to develop or buy the software, so order components, document system, train users, update the feasibility analysis, test system, and review the performance. So which are the steps unique to Security SDLC are, buy or develop the security solutions. At the end of the phase, present tested packages to the management, which will used for an approval, that is the phase will be approved for the implementation, that is the coding. Here we are currently saying about the coding. So the final phase is the maintenance phase. So the steps common to SDLC and Secure SDLC are, it supports and modify the system for its useful life, so test periodically for the completion, and with the business system, that is the compliance with the business needs, so upgrade and patches necessary needed. So steps unique to the Secure SDLC is, constantly monitor, test, modify, update, repair to respond to changing the threats. So to avoid our threats, attacks, and the vulnerability from the unauthorized user, from the unauthorized parties, we are going to use the Secure SDLC. So as a conclusion, as I have to say that in SDLC phase, our main aim is to develop a project, that is we have to plan a project or a software from where we have to start and where we have to end, and after finishing our project what we have to do, that is we are going to study in the SDLC. But in Secure SDLC, as a one step above, as I have to say that as an one step above, we have to provide the security for the users for using their information, and not only for the user, as a as a people we have to store our information in a security manner. So by doing these softwares and by doing these projects, we have to secure the information not only of the organization as a individual people of a country. So that is the main thing of that I have to say in the SDLC and about the secure SDLC. So thank you to all. Uh, See you all. Thank you.